Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. My name is Biplab Chakraborty. I'm an engineer by training who has fallen in love with the world of finance and mergers and acquisitions. I have total experience of more than 20 years. In today's video, we are going to cover 15 questions that are often asked in interviews. I'll share a framework that you can use to structure your answers, and we'll also cover a few things that you should not do if you are asked these questions. So without any further delay, let's get started. One of the most common questions asked in interviews is, tell me something about yourself. This is a great question to capture the interviewer's attention right away. This gives you an opportunity to show why you are a strong candidate for the role right at the beginning of the interview. While preparing for the answer, make sure you have a very clear view. What does the role demand? And then link that to what you bring onto the table. What you are trying to do is to demonstrate to the interviewer that your educational and professional qualifications are just the right fit for the job. Ensure that you're not just responding in general terms. To convince the interviewer, give specific examples from your academic or professional life to demonstrate that you are the right candidate for the job. Talk about the projects that you have worked on and especially focus on your achievements. So rather than saying that you led the rollout of a new product in Japan, you can say how you rolled it out in a record period of time and also how you grew the sales to 10 million within 1 year. One thing that you should not do is to go on speaking for 5 to 10 minutes. You will definitely lose the other person's interest. Or worse, you'll be cut out. Ensure that you keep your response to a maximum of 1 to 2 minutes. This is like an elevator pitch. Keep it short and simple. What are your greatest strengths? You would think this is one of the easiest questions to answer, right? It is. But please prepare for it anyways. The interviewer is not just looking for your core strengths, but also specific situations where you have demonstrated those strengths. So if you are saying that you have the ability to meet deadlines or you are a good team player, give the example where one of your teammates fell sick, you jumped in to not only pick up his work, but you also delivered your work, both of them by the deadline that was committed to the client. These are some strengths that you may want to highlight, but again, please write down specific examples for each so that in the interview you can speak confidently when asked this question. What you don't want to do is to sound arrogant when asked this question, but neither do you want to be humble. So, highlight all your selling points while maintaining a pleasant expression on your face. Okay, so this is a tricky question. If I ask someone and the person says, I can't think of any weakness, not sure I'll believe the person. Worse, you say I can't remember any and the interviewer says, okay, take your time. I'm in no rush. So please prepare for this question. The interviewer is also using this question to test how you handle a difficult scenario. But whatever you say, just ensure that you are not hurting your chances of getting the job. Some of the things that you could say is, hey, I'm a workaholic. I derive immense pleasure from my work. But the downside is that sometimes this cuts into my family time and I end up not giving as much time to my family as I want. But I'm working on it and hence working on setting aside some time in the evenings and weekends that I can devote to my family. Or you can say that you have zero tolerance for any slip in anyone's performance, including your own, that you set very high standards for everyone, including yourself, and on the rare occasions that you slip up, you get increasingly dissatisfied. But you're working on it and try to ensure that you go easy on yourself. Bottom line, whatever you do, you should mention that you realize that there's a problem and that you are working on changing that. Whatever you do, please don't mention a weakness that is core to the job. If I'm hiring someone for an associate position in investment banking, the last thing I want to know is that the person struggles with Excel. Or if someone is hiring for a role in advertising, that the person struggles to stay awake late into the evening. These are just deal breakers. What you could do is couch your weakness and show it as a strength. So for example, if I'm applying for a role in a sales organization, I could say, hey, if I'm given a choice, I like to spend as much time as possible in the field selling as opposed to doing paperwork in the office. Having said that, I know the importance of filing paperwork properly and I do it seriously all the time. But what I really love to do is go to the field, and your willingness to travel extensively will be music to the ears of your hiring manager. Why are you looking for a new job? This is one question that you will almost certainly be asked. So please be prepared with an acceptable response. So if you lost your job as part of a downsizing or restructuring exercise at your last firm, please say that. Be candid without being apologetic. If you're looking for new challenges and growth opportunities, call it out. Maybe your spouse has got a new job and hence you need to move city. That's fine. Go ahead and say that. What is equally important while answering this question is to ensure that there is no negativity in your response. Do not badmouth your industry or your company or your manager. No hiring manager will want to hear that the candidate did not get along well with his last manager or there was a clash of personality. If I'm the hiring manager, I will be left wondering, what if the problem is with the candidate and not the last manager? And who knows, maybe the candidate will go around bad-mouthing me in the industry if anything goes wrong with this person. So my simple request is this: please stay away from all negativity while answering this question. Why do you want to work for us? The interviewer is trying to find out if you're really excited about joining the firm. How keen are you about the new role? Because if you're really looking forward to joining the company, you would have surely read about the company and would be aware of the basic facts about the company. No one expects you to be an expert, but least you can do is to brush up on the size of the company, recent financial results, any recent developments that the company was in the news for, who are the top executives of the company, etc., etc. So if you're applying to join the corporate development team of a company, surely you will know what are the recent M&A deals that the company has done. Similarly, if you're joining a product company, you will definitely know what were the recent products that the company has launched and how they have done in the market. Ensure that your answer captures the enthusiasm that you have for working for that company and the role. That's extremely critical. Please do not go unprepared. Most interviewers will not hire someone who does not know about his new employer, yet says he's keen to work for the company. I know candidates who go fully prepared with their finance basics brushed up, but know very little about the new employer. Please don't do that. In today's competitive job market, it'll definitely weaken your chances of getting that dream job. Silence. What does this mean? Thankfully, this is not something you'll face on a regular basis, but that doesn't mean you should not be prepared just in case you're unfortunate enough to come across this in your interview. This is not a question as such. We call it the silent treatment. Say you answer a question, maybe one of the difficult ones such as, what's your biggest weakness? And once you answer, the interviewer just stays silent and stares blankly at you, or shakes his head as if that was the dumbest answer he has ever heard. What the person is trying to do is to put you under stress and see how you react. But if you are mentally prepared for the question or the situation, there is absolutely nothing to worry about. Many candidates get thrown off by the silence and think that they should go on speaking to fill up the silence and end up saying things that they may not be saying otherwise. That's exactly what the interviewer wants. So please don't do that. It'll hurt your chances. Rather, after a while, you could ask the interviewer, is there something I can clarify from my last answer? Or do you have any follow-up questions that I can answer? That should take care of that. Why should we hire you? This is another favorite question of every interviewer and a great chance for you to sell yourself. Before you go for the interview, make a list of everything that is listed down in the job description or the job requirement, and make a list of all the projects and achievements that you can highlight against each. Convince the interviewer that you are the right fit for the job by giving relevant examples. Probably the most important question in any interview. So if you don't have a well articulated response, very likely you will not be shortlisted for the next round. The manager is also looking for reasons to hire you. So please help the person out. I think you're overqualified. The interviewer is not saying this because he wants to reject you. If he wanted to reject you, you would not have been called for the interview in the first place, isn't it? So please don't get intimidated or disheartened if you hear the interviewer say that you are overqualified for the job. The person is in a way asking you to list down the reasons why you should be hired and not someone slightly junior. So if you are currently unemployed, you can emphasize how keen you are to get back to the workforce, how hungry you are to deliver and prove that you are worth it. You can point out that unlike a junior person, you will not need any training, and also that you can be productive from day one, unlike some of the other candidates. Also, you can say that you can assist your manager in hiring and building the team and also training others given the significant experience that you have. Managers love candidates who can make their lives easier by picking up some of their responsibilities. Another thing that the interviewer wants to get comfortable on is that this is not a stopgap arrangement for you, and you will not leave for a better opportunity once the market improves. Say that if you do well, you believe you will get more and more opportunities within the company and grow with it, and that you are willing to make a long-term commitment to the job. Again, this is not the end of the road for you. Ensure this does not impact your performance over the rest of the interview. The interviewer is only trying to ensure that you don't leave within a year. Give him reasons why that's not going to happen, and you'll be okay. How do you feel about working nights and weekends? To be very honest, there is a high probability that you will get this question in the current environment. But if you're a workaholic, this is a very easy question to answer. Mention that your family understands that you get the most satisfaction from your work. However, if you prefer a more balanced lifestyle, find out from the interviewer what is the norm in the organization. What do others at your level put in terms of working hours per weekday or during the weekend? Depending on the answer, you'll know where you fit in the broader picture. If long hours make you uncomfortable because, say, you have a young family, say so. But give it a positive spin. Emphasize how you love your work and do it exceptionally well. And don't forget to emphasize that you have grown in your career not just by working hard, but by working smart, by being methodical, focused, efficient, and most importantly by your ability to prioritize key deliverables. You can also add that you will find me one of the most productive employees here. Say that your family adds richness and balance to your life and ensures that you're happy and productive at work. And that as and when needed, you will put in the long hours just like you do in your current job. Companies are going through some very tough times. So they want to hire those who are willing to grind it out. But most importantly, they want to hire those who by nature are positive and are willing to stretch when required. Ensure that you emphasize your willingness to be flexible as and when needed. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Hiring managers don't generally enjoy recruiting, hiring, and training new people. It can be time-consuming and extremely difficult process. Your interviewer does not want to invest time and effort in someone who is already planning to leave for something better as soon as it comes along. Maybe that's a better job, maybe that's a business school that you're off to, or you plan to start your own business. Your interviewer also wants to ensure that you will be happy in your new job. You want to ensure that the job can offer the career growth that you seek over the short to medium term. So while preparing for the answer, please ensure that you don't come across as insincere. For instance, if I ask a candidate and they respond with, "I want to be a manager," and I say, "Why?" you can usually tell the difference between people who are really interested in management versus people who say it because they think it's the right thing to say. To be honest, interviewers appreciate honesty. If you don't have much idea, say it, but in a nice way. For example, as a junior level candidate, I want to learn as much as I can, and a year or two, I'll have a better idea of what I want to do next. That's a perfectly acceptable answer. In today's competitive job market, interviewers are looking for any red flags to use as an excuse not to hire you. So you could be unfairly eliminated from contention if you answer this question in a way that even hints this is not your dream job. Why have you been out of work for such a long time? The interviewer is basically trying to understand a few things. What have you been doing all this time? Have you been sitting around watching TV, or were you actually hunting for work? Why have you not found a job yet? Are you someone who is very difficult to work with, or have you just done a terrible job hunting for work? If other employers did not hire you, why should they? Is there something other employers have seen that makes them hesitant to hire you? How fresh are your skills? Have you taken steps to ensure that you have not lost touch with your skill sets? Have you taken steps to add new skill sets in the interim time period? How desperate are you for a job? Basically, the interviewer is trying to understand how serious are you about the role. Is this just a stopgap arrangement before you move on to bigger and better roles? Please prepare a response that will comprehensively address all the above questions. There's nothing wrong with losing a job. All the recruiter is trying to find out is A, is there something wrong with you, or were you just plain unlucky to lose the job? And B, what have you been doing in the interim time period? If you can address these two broad questions satisfactorily, trust me, you'll be fine. But please don't lie. There's a chance that your lie will be found out, and that will not be good for your career. What would you do differently in your life? What you can do is to pick a key event from your life and think through what you learned from that event and how that eventually led you to becoming a better, stronger individual. For example, you may say how you took your 10th standard studies very lightly and how that led you to getting admitted to a fairly ordinary college, whereas all your close friends go into a good college, how that made you hungry and focused, how then you turned things around, worked really hard, and got admitted to your favorite engineering college. You need to convey to your interviewer that you are basically a positive individual. Just like anyone else, you make mistakes, but you don't sit and brood. You learn from the mistake and move ahead in life. The last thing a manager wants to do is to hire someone who by nature is a negative person. So please don't give an answer that shows that you harbor bitterness or negativity from a past event. Is there one thing you could have done better in your last job? Okay, this is not the time to make a confession. So you could say something like, hey, there are always things that can be done better in hindsight, but there is nothing of significance that comes to my mind. If probed further, you could share an example that was beyond your control. So maybe a product failed because the economy went into a recession, or you could say that an initiative failed because there was a fundamental change in the industry. Whatever you say, don't be negative. This is not the time to list down why you did not get a raise last year or why you were denied a promotion. Well, you will get an A for honesty, but not the job. Why have you changed so many jobs? Clearly, the interviewer is worried that you will not hang around for too long. The last thing a manager wants to do is to hire someone who by nature is a job hopper. So how do you respond to this question? Try to articulate reasons for leaving each job and also link each position as part of an overall pattern of career growth. Whatever you do, do not blame others while answering this question. But if possible, attribute some job changes to conditions beyond your control. So maybe your company was bought by another company, and you could say how some of the entrepreneurial spirit went away once the larger company acquired your company, and that is when you decided to move on. Or maybe you had heard that once your company got acquired, the entire marketing team will be laid off, hence you decided to find another job. If possible, show how your frequent job changes were more in the early part of your career, and as you grew older, you have stayed back longer in each job. Don't forget to stress that at this stage of your career, you're looking for more meaningful long-term opportunity. Even before you reach the interview stage, you want to minimize your image of being a job hopper. So instead of showing all the 3 positions below, just drop the one line item where you have stayed only for a few months and show something like this. Notice what a difference it makes to your image of not hanging around for too long. Okay, so you have been with your present company for a long time. Won't it be hard adjusting to a new role, new company? Clearly, this is only for those who have been in one company for a long time. As a result, the interviewer is worried about a few things. One, that you have a rigid way of thinking. 2, since you have stayed in the same role for a long time, you may have stopped learning along the way. And 3, you may have got comfortable and that you are not hungry enough. What you should definitely do is to address all these concerns using examples from your current job. Point to the many ways you have grown and adapted to changing conditions at your present firm. Highlight the different responsibilities you have held, the wide range of new situations you have faced, and how you have conquered them. To further assure the interviewer, describe the similarities between the new position and your current role. Explain that you should be quite comfortable working there, since their needs and your skills make a perfect match. What you should not do is to give an impression to the interviewer that you regret the fact that you have stayed in the current company for so long, or that you hung around because you did not find another suitable job despite trying hard, even if that is the case. Instead, focus on the positive side. Tell the interviewer how you have grown in the current company, how you have taken on more and more responsibilities, and as a result, you're now in a position where you can have a meaningful impact in the new role. Okay, with this, we come to the end of part 1 of the series. In part 2, we are going to pick another 15 questions and try to provide a framework to answer those questions. If there's something that you want me to cover in the series, please share in the comment section. Hope you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That way, once I upload a new video, you will automatically be notified. Thank you so much for watching the video. Bye for now.